Music, they say, is the food for the soul. And it is indeed. I Love Thee, God, composed, written, put together. In fact, even the beat itself. He knows how he goes about it. He knows how to feel sound. All put together by the leader and founder of Ethereum Mission, Brother Ishmael Tete. We're here once again at the hour of awakening and empowerment. Today, we are happy, we're glad because Brother Ishmael is back in Ghana. Ghana needs him most. Yes, with what he has, if Ghana should tap into it, Ghana will turn upside down. But let me tell you, he keeps saying, when you find that narrow way, right? Stay on it. But I'll add something to it. When you find that narrow way, be like that lepers who, when they went to Syria and they saw the goodies over there, they said, ho, even our people, they cast us away. We're not going to look at them from that same angle. We have to go and tell them of what we have found for them to also come and enjoy. Don't keep it to yourself. Invite somebody. At all cost, invite somebody. Don't be selfish. Get someone to also be enlightened, to also be awakened and get empowered. Brother Ishmael is in Ghana. Today, we have another step in. Well, for the very ones who watched on Tuesday, you saw her. You saw her. It is the one and only Efua Asantewaa. I have said a lot. So without much ado, let's welcome Efua this very evening on the hour of awakening and empowerment. Good evening, madam.
Good evening, Professor Mali.
How are you?
Oh, exuding happiness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm in a place of happiness. I'm just happy.
You are just happy. Would you be able to describe happiness?
You know, I did define happiness last week, which I would redefine again. But to tell you of my happiness is the happiness that I feel that everyone around me must be infected by this happiness. You have to be happy.
You have to be happy. That's a good one. It's like imperative.
Yes.
It's your nature.
It's my nature to make you happy. Why be around and not be happy? Actually, why should we not be? Because we can make it happen. Yes.
I hope Godfred wouldn't be upset when I tell you I love you.
Oh, he wasn't though.
He wasn't, yeah.
No.
But you got to tell me something. When I say I love you, you got to let me know that.
I love you so much.
Oh yes. Oh yes. You know, when I communicate with you, I need to first realize you've gotten the message.
The message, yes.
So you have to send something back to me.
Oh,
so when I say I love you, what do you say?
I love you. Say you tell the person back you love them.
And that's right.
And thank you for loving me.
That's
thank
right.
you for seeing that good and divine in me. Thank you.
It's as simple as that.
Yes.
As simple as that. Now, before we start today, right?
Yes.
A friend of mine is having some little problem.
Okay.
He sees it as a problem, but I told him, nah, this is no problem.
Good.
At all. It's no problem. See the good or the possible good in this. He's realized lately he's been getting friend requests on Facebook.
Okay.
And when he evaluates the very ones who are sending him the friend request, excuse me to say, I shouldn't even excuse you. They are gay, homosexuals.
Okay.
All right. And this, my friend, is a straight guy. All right?
Okay.
He wants to go the opposite, not the same.
Yes.
So he's a straight guy.
Yes.
Okay, like Papa Smiley.
Yeah.
And he's getting worried as to why all of a sudden a lot of gay people are trying to be his friend.
Okay.
He feels quite sad.
Oh.
Why? Am I looking gay in my dressing? Is my picture showing that I'm gay or something? So he's a little bit worried. I said, no, don't worry. I know Efua will be able to help you. The first sees the good and the possible good in all of things. So even if people you think are gay are sending you friend requests, let's ask her the possible good or the good in that.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the question. You didn't give me the name of the person, but yes.
Anonymous.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
That's okay. But what I'd want to say first is, what has been his dominant thoughts, lately? Has something crossed his mind about gay people that he felt, I don't like it? Or there's something about gays that he doesn't like, and he may be thinking of it, of what he doesn't like. And the fact that his dominant thoughts are gay or whatever, life would bring people of such natures to you, because your dominant thoughts are the things you attract. Think of what you do like or you want to attract, and it would happen. That does not mean that could be what is happening to him. It could also be that people find him very attractive. He must be very handsome. And sometimes handsome men are assumed to have more female natures or whatever.
That's right.
Or, people get attracted by beautiful things. So he may be so handsome that people sit there and think, what? Let me try that. Let me, or even let me go and just admire it. There may be gays trying to admire another man. No, not with an intention. But yes, it could be anything. But what he has to do is, okay, this is what is happening. I am not. First, I think he should be very thankful, because he could be because I don't know this person. It could be his beauty that is attracting.
Could be the smile.
The smiles, his natures that is attracting all these people to him. But these people too are part of what is happening, So for us to place a judgment on them, I'll say no. Let's also see a possible good in them. Have you not had a gay manager who's been wonderful? His sexuality has not affected how good he works. So if we can find the good in people, I think we can work around them.
In fact, you just nailed it, right? And you just looked beyond the dot.
Yes.
I call it my dot analysis. And you've looked beyond the dot to address this friend of mine's problem. But I'm more handsome than this friend of mine, but I don't get such friend requests. What is there anything else these guys look for before they send those? Because I know I'm very handsome than my friend.
You know what? Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, don't they? You could be so handsome, and with you, it's women who sees yours. His could be identified by men. Okay. So it is who is seeing what that would be the case. So it has nothing to do with you not having them, because your attraction could be for the female alone.
All right. Now you said maybe my attraction is for females, right? Okay. Yeah. You just All right. So may I ask?
Yes.
Godfred, right? What of you attracted you to him?
I think that's a very difficult question for me to answer, because I am not in Godfred's mind to.
I'll bring it down for you to understand.
Okay.
They talk about the law of attraction, right?
Yes.
And I know a new one that has come. That is the law of exudation.
Same.
All right. What did you exude to attract Godfred? Now I've brought it down, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Excellent.
I think what could have been the case is, I'm a very joyful person. Naturally, you would hardly see me frown, either at work or anywhere. And he met me at a work environment. So, yes, it's it could be my cheerfulness,
I see. Well, I think we've said quite a lot, isn't it?
Yes.
It was like I'm putting you on the hot seat.
Yeah, very hot seat.
And I can see you just fidgeting a little bit, but don't worry.
I'm okay.
You're definitely gonna be all right, okay? But now, there is this verse in the Bible that says we have to worship God in truth and in spirit, right? And I've been reading several times. We should worship God in truth and in spirit. What is the truth and what is the spirit? If you can help us with that, and then the ball is now in your court to officially carry on with the quest for happiness part 2. Efua, let's go.
Yeah. Actually, thank you for the question. What is the truth and what is spirit? Truth and spirit, I would say, I would equate them as the same thing. 1 plus 1, they're all the same. If we talk about spirit, that's the essential nature of man. Man is spirit. That which you cannot see and touch is what spirit is. God, you cannot worship something, or you cannot be so for instance, I can't be in my physical term and think I'm worshiping a spirit. Spirits would have to worship spirit, of spirits recognize the spirit, and the true essence of man is spirit. We know very well that the body you wear is only like, I don't want to call it a casket, or a diving suit. You are in a suit with a spirit. The spirit is dwelling in that suit. That spirit, that's which you cannot see or touch, but is able to do things, is what spirit is. Look at God in nature. Look at the trees. What happens with the trees is they are giving out oxygen and they're taking in carbon. There's a power behind life. There's a tree doing that, but there's something that you cannot see or touch. That is what God is. The truth is this. The truth is that you are spirit. So when you realize or recognize that truth, that what I truly am is spirit. What in life shows that you're spirit? Okay. And I've used this example last week. Without the spirit, you cannot wave a hand. Without the spirit, you cannot walk. That which makes you do it is spirit. And that is God. That which spins the earth, it's not seen or touched, but the earth is spinning. That power I choose to call God. And God is spirit. So spirit worshiping spirit is only worshiping truth.
Well, I would say, with that kind of smoothness and, that easiness with which you just tackle the question tells me it came from somewhere else, not from you.
Definitely not.
And you see, it's like you having the best of all internet connections in your house. Once you are connected, the plugs are in, you are always connected. And your internet will be up and running. Nothing comes in between. I believe that connection is still strong to the source. And today, you will be able to take us through the practices with which we will be able to get happiness in our lives. Efua, the ball is now in your court.
Thank you, Papa Smiley. And once again, thank you all cherished listeners. I appreciate your time again with me. And in today, before we start, I'd want to confirm in your spirit that God is on our side. Life is on our side. And whichever way, whichever circumstances that would happen to us from today, we will surely be happy. Thank you once again for your time. I just want to quickly recap what we did last week. We spoke about happiness, the quest for happiness. And I themed it, placing yourself at the center of happiness. Because if you place yourself at the center of happiness, every time you are in happiness. Happiness, I defined, which is the way Efua Mission defines happiness, is looking at all the good things happening in life, looking at all the bad things that are happening in life, and choosing to focus on the good. So by focusing on the good that is happening, you are in the place of happiness and joy. Because in good things, you're happy. It's automatic. When you are focusing on good, you are definitely happy. Whatever gives you happiness has power over you. If you give your happiness to your husband or your wife or your sister or your mother or whoever, or whatever situation, that situation or person has power over your happiness and will choose when he or she wants to give you the happiness. But happiness must be your choice. You must be the cause of your own happiness. We also spoke about the fact that life doesn't owe us. Life is put so much into us. Life is waiting for our growth. Life is waiting for our recognition and our growth of what is invested in us. So it is our duty to give back to life what's invested in us. One who did not listen to me last week may not understand what I mean by life investing in us. Life is invested some beauty in you. Life is invested some intelligence in you. Life is invested some wisdom and nature of itself in you. How much of it are you using? How much of it are you blessing life with? How much of it are you enriching life with? And that's why I said, life doesn't owe you anything. But you rather have, I don't want to say we owe life, but we have to put back into life what it's giving us. Like the parable of the talents. Unto whom more is given, more is expected. So let's know the truth. You must decide always to be the cause of your happiness. Don't let anything be the cause of why you are happy. Choose your own cause of happiness. There are things that we allow to happen to us, like people's attitudes. Oh, that affects us. I mean, one thing that places us at the place that displaces our happiness is what people's opinions are, what people think of us, and their attitudes. Sometimes, we get so affected by these attitudes, we are thrown out of balance. We become miserable, we become sad, we live in pain just because of someone's attitude. And I did say this, people act based on their own sometimes it's the limited knowledge and experience they may have had. People would always be people. That is what we must know. But we can choose for ourselves not to be affected by what their attitudes are. Be the cause of things. It's important to be the cause, because when you are the one in control, you decide what should happen. Also, we spoke about some of the things that we think make us happy. Sometimes you're so eager to get the latest, now the latest things on TVs are the smart TVs, which gives you everything. Just when smart TVs come in or they are launched, people run, mobile phones, people run, long queues just to be the first to get these things. Sometimes when we go and get them, and I find this funny because after a week or two, it happens a lot in my home. After a week or two, you don't even want to watch the TV again. You're tired. It's like you've exhausted the whatever happiness that the TV brought. How many things are in our homes now that at the time that it came, we were rushing to make sure that this one, we have to get it. And then when we had it, we just later couldn't be bothered. So we realize that these things do not give us the happiness that we seek. Actually, it's our happiness that must go and bring them, and not they be the one to dictate our happiness, because we get fed up with them very easily. And finally, why wait for your desires to bring you happiness? Sometimes we wait, like when I get married, some of the desires, the burning desires when you're a young woman, is like, when I get married, I'll be happy. Let me say this here, but let it not come wrong to say that who says marriage brings happiness? Who says so? Look at it carefully, or speak to married men or women. Ask them, are you very happy in your relationship? Let them tell you the truth. It is the happiness you are that would make your relationship happy. That would bring the happiness in your home. When you are not happy, marriage can be very miserable. So who said you'd have to wait to get, married first to be happy? Why don't you be happy now? Actually, your happiness could even attract you the best person on the planet. Sometimes you want to be rich before, you get happy. What about if it's not the case, but your lifespan is 30 years because you did not bring yourself here? And that's a serious business. You did not bring yourself here. You cannot afford not to be here. And you cannot afford not to exit from here. We all one day are going to lose this life that we have. So are you going to be miserable waiting for money to come? What about if it never comes before death? Because the fact is, what you're thinking, what you don't want, is what you're thinking of most. So what you would want would not happen. And if you have a very short lifespan, then it means you wouldn't enjoy anything till your exit, because you cannot afford not to exit. I just say, if you are having 70 to 100 years, whichever, way, it does not mean that, it's a long time. No. When you're rather happy, then everything else happens with ease. Happiness brings life to ease, because you are at ease with yourself. When you're happy, you have ease with yourself. There's no judgment passed on your life. So this was what we treated last week. And I did promise that we're going to go in detail to the practices, because we need a practice, an inner practice, I must call it, because happiness is an inner thing, Happiness is felt within, not without. That's why the external things that we seek for does not give us those, the happiness that we so much are desiring. So a practice, and we will go depth into it. But before the practice, I'd like us to look at what the Bible says about happiness. And I'll start with Proverbs. With this, allow me to read, just as the Bible says it. We have Proverbs 17:22, and you can open that if you've got your Bibles with you. And if you haven't now, you can even do that on your phones. It said, "A merry heart doeth good like medicine, but a broken heart drieth the bones." A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, and a broken spirit drieth the bones. When you are happy and you've got a merry heart, as the Bible puts it, you are like medicine. The happiness in you is medicine. One, it stops you from getting ill. It stops all the misery. So your system is insulated with all the good things you need. Like nothing shakes your happiness. But if you have a broken spirit, if you are dismayed, you're sad, you're miserable, expecting something to happen for your happiness, then you become like a broken bone, a broken dry bone. Can you imagine bones being broken? Let alone being dried. Means there's nothing in it. Which way do we want to choose? A merry heart, a happy heart, which is like medicine to us, or the one that is dry, the broken, it's not just even dry, broken bones. Also in Proverbs again, 15 verse 13, it said again about this merry heart, and a merry heart is a happy heart. It maketh a cheerful countenance, but sorrow of a heart, the spirit is broken. So if you have sorrow, your spirit automatically is broken. I did not say that, the Bible says it. Your sorrow breaks your spirit. Your spirit gets broken because you are sorrowful. But when you choose the other way, a merry heart, you've got a cheerful countenance. The countenance is your facial, it's like people see you and can easily tell this is a happy person. And this radiates, in your whole being, it radiates to everyone who come in contact with you. I did not say so. The Bible said so. But that is the truth. Watch a happy person. Watch their face. Watch their life. And sometimes you just wish you're as happy as they are. But it is possible. What I want to say today, it is possible. Then in Proverbs 15:15, I love these, proverbs, because it helps us to understand happiness. It says, all the days of the afflicted are evil, but he that is of a merry heart had a continual feast. all the days of the afflicted are evil, but that of a merry heart hath continual feast. And it's simply telling us that if you are afflicted, life prolongs. Everything in life is prolonged. You are in, your days are all, I don't want to use the very harsh words, but you are afflicted. You are in such pain. You don't want to live a life of pain and misery all the time. But when you have a happy heart, you have a continual feast. Your life is like each day is a feast day. Each day is a party day. Each day is a God day. A feast day is a God day. Because when you are feasting, there is something you are celebrating. And what we celebrate most, or what we should celebrate most, is our spiritual natures. So, living a life of happiness, because happiness is spiritual. You are feasting God every day. That is it. Think of it. Feasting God each day. How enjoyable would your day be if God is your feast each day? You're feasting on the God natures that you are. And then the final reading, it's Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 7. And I love this. I love it so much. He says, "Go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, and drink thy wine with merry hearts, for God has accepted thy works." So, a happy person, when you are in the spirit of happiness, it means that you can eat the bread, you can eat. You are eating in happiness. Your eating is an eating of happiness. Your drinking is a drink of God's self. Actually, I'd rather want to be using happiness and God's self together, because happiness is a God nature. He says, "Go thy way." When you live this life, God has accepted thy works. When your life is a happy life, it is telling you God is happy with you. What else do you want? We all want to please God. Actually, sometimes I say, we don't want to go to hell, the so-called hell we call. So if you don't want to go to the hell, why don't we do it? Like the Bible says, why don't we do it? In the way that honors and promotes the very life that we're living. Because he says, "Go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart, for God has accepted thy works." So in happiness, God has accepted it all. You are accepted in God because you are happy. It's only saying that you've recognized your true nature and you've embraced it and you're living it. That is all what it's saying. So we can see from the Bible that it is important to be happy. It brings it all. It brings all the goodies that we're looking for. And now let's go to the practice. Because with the practice, I know all of us today listening would experience our happiness, because that's our true nature. Hardly do people make time to feel the happiness they felt before. Let's be truthful to ourselves. How many times have we made time to feel the happiness that we have felt before? Happiness is energy, and we know that. So is sadness, so is sorrow. They are all energies. Happiness, when you make time to recall the happy moments or to feel the happiness that you felt before, it is recorded in you. So you can recall all the moments of your happiness, rather than recalling the moments of pain, of sadness, of sorrow. Remember, all these things are setbacks. When you're sorrowful, you don't think right. Actually, you don't even have the mind to even want to think right. Sometimes you don't even want to go out. You don't want to see daylight. A day of not doing what you have to do has retarded the progress that you're meant to have tomorrow. So the setback I'm talking about is wasting a day in pain and in sorrow would set back your progress. But recalling all the moments that you felt happiness, let's take a moment, sit down, and because it's not something we've done or we do, it's a practice, like a practice that we normally do, I'll say let's start with 30 minutes in a day to recall all the happiness we have felt before. And in recalling the happiness, this is what happens. Your psyche now knows happiness. Your psyche now says, you know what? I know the feel of happiness. And what your psyche knows, it would attract. Most of the time, our psyche does not know the happiness we felt. What it knows is the sadness, the sorrow, the pain. But I'll say this, the secret is make time to recall several events in which you were happy. And as I said, at least to begin with, spend 30 minutes living in that happiness, experiencing it. And when you do this, your psyche will now start knowing that truth of happiness, and it would attract more to you. What it knows, it would attract to you. It would bring more of what it knows. It's important to do this. And in doing this, this is what we have to do. You must do all this using the 5 senses. And I like to put them in this way. Taste, we all know the 5 senses of taste, touch, smell, feel. You know, sometimes there's the touch of touch, and there's sometimes when someone is touching something, it's like I can feel this. There's a feel touch and there's a touch. I don't know if I'm making sense here, but you can hold on to something and say, oh, it feels this way, but you're touching it. So use the senses at that moment of touching, and then the moment of also feeling the situation. So let all the 5 senses be able together to tell. Let me give this example. Maybe it can drum it home. There's this English we say, you know, it's he's full of he says envious. He says envy as green. That's the word. Actually, I've heard a few people say he says envy as green. So it means that envy has a color. Whoever brought about this English word could tell that, you know, the senses do have colors. There's the need to sit down to identify happiness colors with the senses. With the sense of smell, how did it smell like? What was the smell at the time of this? Because you're recalling this happy moment. What was the smell? What did you see? What was the color? When you do sit down for that moment, you would have a color for the event of happiness. And when you do have this color, anytime, and I say this, that any situation comes to shake you, anything come to upset you, you just remember, just go to that color moment, what it looked like, what it felt like, just there in that moment. And this, you know, the situation would move away. When you are able to find the color of the sensory values, you've got the carbon dioxide, the water hydrant to quench the fires of pain that is coming. Because you need something to quench the fire when it is coming. But these sensory values would give you that water hydrant. You know, when, you know, a situation happens at work or anywhere, you know, that you have fire exits, you've got the fire extinguishers at various places, and you are taught how to use them should there be fire. These when you recall this moment with the sensory values, there would be those things. There will be the carbon dioxide, there will be the fire extinguishers to quench the fires of pain, to quench the fires of misery, because you do not need them. There is something in you that can quench it. There's something you have identified. There's something that is in your psyche now that can quench this fire of pain, this fire of sorrow. There's something in you that can and will. Normally, when you get upset, you're affected with diseases. It clouds your thinking. And sometimes, when you live in guilt, you become introverted. The guilt has overclouded you as if there's no good. You are living in a state, as if you are the worst person. Who says so? Who says so? How many good things or good deeds have you not been to life? Is it because you did something wrong? Let's say because you killed. Killing not mean physically killing. Sometimes you say to God, thank God you've gone through this. Or it serves him right. Sometimes they are words, but they do kill. But the fact that you have killed someone with words does not make you a killer. You're not. By being able to go to these places, you will be able to quench these moments when they come to you. And I'd like to go to the next principle, which I'd want to just seriously look at this too, because this is something most of us, we do not do. We don't give attention to our divine virtues. How many of us have sat down to list the many divine natures of God that we are? And the love, we've been so caring, we've been so assisting before, we've been so helpful, we've been so generous, we've been so giving. Have we given attention to our divine virtues? One wrong that we do, we let this wrong keep hunting us each day. Actually, sometimes past errors comes in. It becomes the order of the day. Your past errors keeps flooding through your mind. But there's a need to give attention to your divine virtues. You've been caring before. And all of us can recollect, or we can start, sometimes you may tell us, I don't think I've done enough. You can start with one. There's been a caring moment you have. There's been an assisting moment you've been assisting to someone. There's been a time, when you talk about intelligence, that you've been wise, you've been a counselor, you've been smart. There are moments that you've been thoughtful. I talk about creativity. There are times that you're so determined, you're compassionate. These are all God natures in us. These are our divine natures. And there's a need for us to give attention to. Let's start writing down. I say, sometimes when you start, because your past errors keeps flooding through your mind, you may think you haven't done enough. Start writing. And your spirit will open up to the truth that it knows of itself. Because spirit has boundless good that it does. The good that is happening through you is the good that spirit does through you. And there's many more incidents, there are many more situations that this good has happened. And there's the need to list them down. What do you praise yourself for? Sometimes when you do ask people, they would say, well, it sometimes becomes difficult. People go blank when you say, what do you praise yourself for? But there are things that you can praise yourself for. There are things you know deep down in yourself that this one, it is you. You're a determined spirit for which you can praise yourself for. You're a joyful spirit. There are things that you know about it. There's a need to sit down. And this is where we talk about the meditative, posture, like be in meditation. Meditating is not sitting in blankness. Meditating is meditating on yourself, on the divine, the true nature of you. Spend time to meditate on the good you are. Spend time to meditate on what you praise yourself for. What do other people also praise you for? Sometimes even when people are praising us, we don't want to know. We know they're saying the truth to us, but it's like, oh no. And I'll give a very typical example I learned. It's because sometimes we don't accept this good that we've done. A gentleman was once, going somewhere. This is an incident that happened in Ghana. And on his way, he felt like, what, can I just pass by this sister's house and just take some water, just say hello, take water and go. Got into the house, sat down, and then, the sister brought him water and they were talking. And he said, what, I'm very hungry. And then when he said that, I was like, okay, just take a seat, I'm just coming. Went, prepared food, nice food brought to this gentleman. He ate very well. And he said, thank you. And he did go away. One day, an incident happened again, like another situation, they met up again. And they were talking about their divine natures, what they praise each other for. And the gentleman said, do you know what I praise you for? He said, no, I don't. And he said, you know what? When I came to your house that day and you gave me that food to eat, did you know I didn't have money? I had no money to buy food. So you solved a desire. You gave me something that I couldn't have afforded that day. You are an answer to my prayer. We do lots of these things and we take them for granted. To us, we're just doing something normal. But look at how the blessing is. Look at how a soul is grateful that God has fed him that day because he didn't have the money to buy food. I have known people who, they find that, you don't look happy. And they would come to you and find out, why are you not happy? What can I do to help? And sometimes, even when you don't tell them what they can do to help, they find ways to help to make you happy. This nature could be your nature. People raise you up. And you raised people up. Someone is sitting somewhere praising you for that good you did. So start recollecting, what do people praise me for? It's important to know the things you do that you are being praised for. This one, it is not flattery. You have done some good that has blessed a soul. Sometimes even your thoughts, you have a thinking that, I want to make Ethereum machine grow. I know people with that passion. That thought alone, it's enough for you to praise yourself. It's enough that I would praise you for. Because for you to want to grow truth, why not? There must be some good in you to do that. So there's the need for us to write down all the things we praise ourselves for and the things people praise us for. Go to bed each day reading to yourself the things people praise you for or the divine virtues that you are. And wake up each morning reading to yourself the things you praise yourself for. And you'll be amazed what power, what energy would fill you for that day. Start practicing this. I don't do betting, but I would want to bet with you that if you do this, you'll be amazed at the volume of happiness that would fill you. Don't let your past errors, or if the errors of the last minute before now, come in your way of happiness. You are a divine being with lots of divine natures and good that you have been to life than your little errors you think and are making bigger than yourself. Your errors are not bigger than you. you are bigger than your errors. And I like to say, when you practice happiness, this is what happens. You live life with passion. You are always happy regardless of the circumstance. The fact is, what you cannot change in life, you just know that this is for God to do. Anything that you cannot do, or you cannot see the solution, is simply telling you it is not for you to solve. It is for God to solve. When you live in the place of happiness, you leave the ones that are for God to solve. When you live in the place of happiness, you uplift yourself and uplift the world with you. I did say that last week. And when you live in happiness, you are very healthy. You don't want a sick body, do you? Live happiness and be healthy forever. I'm told there's a lot of questions today, so I need to be as brief as I can. And I'm available to answer. Together, we would answer together. Spirit teaches through everyone. So if it is not me, it could be you to give me the answer. So I'll pause here and allow Papa Smalley to now take the seat. Thank you. And God bless you all for listening. Thank you.
God bless you too. God bless you too. And you have strategically put all of us in the position of answering the questions. But I tell you what, I wouldn't accept that strategy today. I was thinking to myself, and I was just thinking within, what if I should accept this strategy that she's adopted? Don't I think Mommy Angel, Angelina Ayi, Madam Angelina Ayi, who is watching you live on Facebook, is going to send answers to questions, I don't know, via spiritual download, or I don't know. Right? Because if you go by that strategy, maybe Brother Ishmael will even be sending you the questions via some download I wouldn't even see around here. But I don't want that to happen. I want you to answer these questions yourself. Now the lines are now open for your questions and your contributions. The Quest for Happiness Part 2. Efua Asantwa. Now let me read some of the wonderful comments that are coming our way via the Facebook live video. And then if you are looking to come with your question and your contributions, 0208 144 8180. 0044 208 144 8180. If you are within the confines of the United States and Canada, it's 315 636 4063. 315 636 4063. I know one thing for certain. Back in school, when I had there were two extremes, right? When you have a good teacher, he or she teaches, then no need for questions because he's already explained everything to you. And you have a very bad teacher that whatever he started from the moment he stepped into the class till the time he finishes, you are confused, more confused. So in these two extremes, you don't even want to ask a question because the whole show you don't understand. But when you are at a level with the teacher and you understand him, you are able to put spirit to what he teaches you. You simply understand. But I want you to come and say something. 0208 144 8180. Let's read some comments around here as well. Very, very wonderful comments. And I know when you go home tonight and you begin to sleep and you play these things that I'm going to say, when you play them back, you have a very sound sleep. Madam Angelina Ayi, Mommy Angel is also watching. Oh, Mommy, keep watching your daughter. Estana Tete, we are all here listening. Keep listening, my dear. Nana Owusu Daddy Chancellor, or Daddy, and all Bonsri guys watching you live. Wow. If you're going far, you're going far. Nana Owusu Daddy Chancellor again. Thank you, madam. Thank you. Kofi K. Setson, wonderful. You are great. Wow. The power within her is greater. Charlotte Kofi Apalu, Efua, you are an Ethereum mission leader in the making. More intelligence bestowed on you. God bless you. Frederick Ebeniku Enim, you know what he does. Fred does is, yeah, he has a very unique skill, a very unique. I think I'll call that intelligence, right, or possibly creativity. He listens to you, and he make quotations out of what you keep telling us. Now, Fred is saying, what you don't want is what you are thinking of most. So what you want is not going to happen. A quotation from Efua Asantua. Nana Eko Mensah, watching you all the way in the United States of America. We have Rahel watching. Keep watching, madam. Roger Addy, I'm watching all the way in Nandom, in the Upper West region. Wow, that is how far technology can go, isn't it? And there was a conversation I had with someone asking him, why or how did we get to where we are at this very moment? Because when we started, it was barter trade, right? And when things went on further and further, there was some means of other exchange. Now, it's gotten to a time that when you just put your finger on your home button and then you just tap it to a certain machine, you send payment.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to get to a point. I don't know if it's already started in other countries. People will have some chips in their behind their in their body, and then they just be passing around, and payments will be what? Be going out.
Technology is just evolving.
It's evolving. But there is one thing that I think made all these things happen. They were conscious of change. And to be conscious of change is to accept the fact that it can always be better.
Yes.
And when you know it can always be better, you add something to it to make it better than it was. In fact, you added something to what you did on Tuesday, and it is better today.
Amen.
And I know one thing for certain, I have some few emails that I have to read out as well. We had one from, okay, I think I'll read it from the Ethereum Mission WhatsApp line. We have one from Enisa Demi. I hope I've got the name right, yeah? Enisa, right? Firstly, I want to say that Efua is truly inspirational and an amazing and gifted individual I was blessed to meet. God's gift to earth. I will be tuning in on Thursday to ask my follow-up questions around happiness and the mindset around it. Enisa. Okay, I hope Enisa is seriously listening. I would love it so much if I could hear that voice. I want to put a voice to the name. So if you could ring 0208-144-8180, I'll be very nice to you. Okay, I wouldn't treat you as I'm treating Efua. I'll be very, very nice to you. So come, right? Now, Efua, Enisa came with a question anyway. My question is that, what should a person who has lost his wealth and is now struggling to make ends meet do? How can such a person live a happy life? Hilda Akusua Boatin, United Kingdom. Hilda Akusua Boatin. Wow, that's a very interesting question. Yep. And I want you to just tap into the source right now and give us an answer.
Oh, Paswani, thank you. Thanks for the question. And it's Hilda. Oh, Hilda, thank you for the question. Thank you for the opportunity you're giving me to try and do it together with you. It's sad to lose something. So I must agree with you that it's very sad to lose something. But I want to look into your face, and say to you, you've lost it, but something else has happened. Something else has happened to you. You have grown in wisdom, possibly from the loss. something has changed in your thinking. I don't know what the loss was. You said it was money. When you lose money, it's painful. But sometimes there's a wisdom that now guides you to know that, you know what, this investment is wrong. So you may not go into it. What if at the time of loss, maybe you didn't have enough information to guide you? Today, I think you do have that information. Because we're never the same of what we were a day ago or weeks ago. We each day grow. Are you, let's think of it. Would you just allow this loss to keep you in the place of pain? Because if you recognize the higher wisdom you now have, you can make a double portion of what you had done 10 years ago. The wisdom of 10 years ago is not greater than the wisdom of today. The wisdom of today is greater than the wisdom of yesterday. So now you have a greater wisdom to be able to achieve it easily. Like Papa Smiley just stated now, technology is gone to a place that, now you just press of a button, you're making payments. It's the same way that man is also evolving. Situations happen and we must learn from that situation to grow. And to put it straight too, Hilda, you do have life, don't you? And you can work, possibly. Even if you're not working, you're having something to eat. You have a friend to talk to, you have somebody at least that you can lean on. Can you not be grateful for these things and allow Spirit to guide you to where it wants you to be? You know what? Step into happiness. There's some great good you did that the world is thanking you for. The loss has happened. To me, it has gone into the universal bank, possibly waiting for tomorrow when you have the capabilities to look after the wealth to come to you. Don't be dismayed. Nothing is lost in life. It may be lost from you, but not lost within life. So life would bring it back to you at the time that you're matured and ready to experience it. But whilst you're waiting for it, don't stay in the pain. Don't stay in the sorrow. Count your many blessings, he goes, and count your divine natures. There's many good things about you. Thank you. I hope I've answered you. But if you do want a clarification, please feel free to ask again. I'd always, if I can't, I would get, Papa Smiley to get support for me.
She's already trying to corrupt me, and I am incorruptible. I'm like a president we have in our country now. He's very incorruptible. Mm-hmm.
I can agree.
All right. Now, there is another question here which I would want you to address. Papa Smiley, please ask Asantwa that what Ethereum mission song in particular inspires her the most and ignites happiness in her anytime she sings it or when she hears it being played. Please tell her to sing it. Emmanuel Dansomai. But this gentleman should be a Speaker of Parliament. He will pose a lot of deeper questions, yeah? So over to you, Afua. Mm-hmm.
Emmanuel, thank you so much, for the question. There are a few songs that inspires a lot of joy in me. One of them is I'm Here to Break New Grounds. And it inspires me to greatness every day. And this was all composed, by Bra Ishmael, written and composed by him. And it uplifts me to a certain level. And then the song that is always played before the hour of empowerment here, that is, I love thee, Lord, I love thee, Lord. I've been told you want me to sing it. But can I say this? That when it comes to singing, I pause. Because I would always need lots of water to sing. So wait, and I'll call you if it's possible, and I'll sing to just your ears, if that's okay.
I was thinking you're going to tell me I should support you. I was ever ready to support you, but now that chance is gone. So you have to do the singing yourself. Now, we had a lot of questions from last Tuesday, and we couldn't. So let's see if we can run through a few of them before our time is up. Is the speaker a mother? If yes, does she have quarrels with her children? How does she manage it? I'm still not in good terms with my mom for about 3 years now. Ask her what I should do because I can see that my mom isn't happy and I'm also not happy. We used to call each other on the phone and visit each other, but ever since that quarrel, we have hated each other for about 3 years now. I need her guide. I will listen to her advice.
What's her name?
The name is Ellen Jumo in Kumasi.
Oh, Ellen, your story has really touched me. What could have happened between you and mom not to talk? It's painful, I think, for mothers when their daughters don't talk to them, or when there's a quarrel between them, and their children. It's painful. First, actually, you did ask if I'm a mother. And I'd answer this. I'm a mother of 5. And one thing I know, I don't know if you're a firstborn of your mom or the secondborn. But let me say this. If you're not the firstborn and you're the secondborn, your mom, you must know your mom loves you very much. This is not the answer to your question, but I want to say this to you. And I'll give you a reason why. If you go to the maternity ward, if you go to deliver a child, the pain of the delivery, at the time that you're doing it, you tell yourself, you know what, I am not coming back here again. So if you're not the firstborn, I always say that with the first ones, you don't have a clue what it is. But if you're not the first and you're the second, you're the third, you must know that a mother said, I would make sure I would bring I would bring you out. I would make sure I give birth to you. She knows about what pain is, to deliver a child. But she said, you know what? I would go again. That alone must make a child sit and say, you know what? Whatever mom would do, I must love her for that pain. Because till you feel that pain, I am telling you, the pain is between life and death when you are there. So for you to want to embrace it the second, the third, and the fourth, then there's a passion in you to bring that soul to nature, to bring that soul to bring some good in that child. Moms, even ourselves, sometimes we act based on some information. Possibly because Akosia's attitude is this to her mom, or we start comparing relationships. Oh, Akosia's mom does this. Oh, I expect my mom to do this. Why don't we expect us? I'm not saying mom should expect you to do anything, but because this is causing you pain, why don't you place a responsibility on yourself to say that, you know what, I'm going to be so loving that it would call forth the love in mom. And if it's unforgiveness that is happening, unforgiveness is always termed as putting your hand in the fire and thinking the other person should be the one to suffer. No, it is you who is suffering. When there's unforgiveness, you are in pain. I don't know if you can feel the passion with which I'm talking. I am feeling a certain passion because I know you want to talk to mom. What I'll say you must start doing now is, before this quarrel started happening, you said you were talking to mom every time. Recollect the moments and the calls you had. Start recalling the funny things you both used to say. And this will start changing your energy. Remember the good times with mom. And enjoy it so much that nothing else fills your mind. And take the phone and give mom a call. And when mom would take the call and mom will speak to you. When love speaks, the world hears. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we have a caller on the line. Let's listen to who it is, and then we can move on. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Good evening.
Evening. I just want to ask a question. Where we were talking about happiness,
Mm-hmm.
would it be...
One second. Your name, please.
Okay. My name is Rahel.
All right. Okay. All right.
Well, I'm known quite popular. But yeah, I just want to say, when Auntie was talking about happiness, would you say as in you remember the goodness of the happiness to continue your happiness? Is that what... Do you know what I mean?
All right.
As in, how do I keep my happiness flowing? Like, if everything is fine, but then maybe you work... Like, sometimes, I don't know, it's like you're happy, but sometimes you wake up very low
Mm-hmm.
or very disturbed.
All right.
And it's not because someone has disturbed you, but you're in the, I don't know, like your spirit, let's say your spirit being is feeling low,
Mm-hmm.
or what is the solution, or how do I I listen to a lot of music, so music really makes me happy,
Mm-hmm.
it flows, but I don't know how to say it.
All right. I think she's got it. She's got it. Yeah. She's got it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right. And keep listening. Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Thank you, Rahel. Thank you for listening. And the question is, you sometimes go to bed happy and you get up miserable, or you get up feeling very low in spirit. You feel low in spirit because the happiness with which you went to bed was not a total happiness. Did you take time to recall, the moments that you have felt happy? And I did say one of the practices was to recall the things you praise yourself for. Go to bed reading to yourself the things you praise yourself for. Sometimes you go to bed happy because maybe you had some money from someone, or someone said something that made you happy. So the power is being given to the situation that caused the happiness. But the true spirit is not happy, because spirit needs to identify its true nature, which is the happiness. It's the spirit power that directs the happiness. So if the power is with something else other than true spirit, then that was not true happiness. It was a temporary feeling of happiness. And we all experience those moments very often. But even in those temporary happiness, make time to feel the happiness. You see, we haven't made time to feel the happiness that we do feel. And as I said, happiness is an energy. So our psyche has not, does not know happiness. When you make time to feel the happiness, trust me, your psyche would know it. And it would know how to attract more of it to you. And it will wake you up in the morning in that same spirit, because what it does know is that it knows the truth of yourself, which is happiness, and you have many evidences of them. I hope this has answered you.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Now, this friend of mine asked me just I think 2 days ago, and he said, how can he create positive energy all by himself without any external input? So he wants to be able to create positive energy all by himself without any external input. How would you help such a person? Positive energy, happiness. He doesn't want to rely on anything external. All should be internal.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to help such a person create that energy?
Because, I think he's on the road of, he's on the right path, I must say, because he's not looking for anything to bring his happiness, if I've got the question right. But what he wants to do now is to look within his true self. Because, when you make the time for you, you would know you. I always say that if you make the time for the you, the true you, the I in you, you would know it. When you make time for spirit, you would know spirit. And you would not need the support of anything to get that mood. Spirit guides you as to what. So he may go within to ask, what is the nature of God? this can bring him happiness. He may not have necessarily have listened to the topic we're treating, but going in and thinking about the nature of God and meditating on the nature of God can bring you to a certain state of stability and joy. Because that which God is are these natures. God is joy, God is happiness. God is, He's everything that is. So when you meditate on God, you are meditating on your true self. And by that, you don't need any help.
By meditating on God, you are meditating on your true self. And by that, you don't need help. And if I get you right, if you meditate on yourself and you are meditating on God, and since we are all extensions of each other and we are connected, that is to say, those external inputs, all right, that you feel wouldn't want to come in your way of the positive energy, you know what they become? They become your spiritual input, because we are extensions of each other. And once you are connected,
we all get connected somehow.
The connection is still there.
We do.
Thank you very much, Efua. Now, do you know that a hungry man is an angry man?
Yes.
Ask her that, how can we make poor and struggling people happy? I guess she has never seen hunger and pains in life. I read her Facebook profile. Charles Ajiman, South Africa.
Oh, hi, Charles. Thank you for your question. You know what? You bear my surname, so I just love that. That's my maiden name. I'm Ifwajiman, so Ifwa Santuajiman. So yeah, we're connected there. So my happiness at the moment is radiating straight. It's getting straight to South Africa, and you're wherever you are. I know you're feeling me now. We're feeling the happiness together. Let me say this, Charles. You don't need to experience something to know it is not good. Definitely, a hungry man is an angry man. But what does your hunger do to you? Is it because you are hungry, so you have to be angry? What does the anger do? You may end up slapping someone. You may end up, causing a problem, even causing ill health to your own self. I don't think you want to do that. Being hungry, yes, you are angry. Hunger should not go with hunger. What solution could there be in this situation? Could be one of the questions you can prompt yourself with. If it's about hunger, what solution could there be here? What is life seeking to say in this moment? I always say this, and I've always said this. Do it with spirit. Do it with your true self. If you're a Jesus-following person, do it as Jesus taught, that the King and his kingdom are within you. And seek it with your whole might and with your own mind and power. And everything, not some things, shall be added unto you. So you would not be hungry because you're fed. That which lives and moves in you is the Spirit of God, and it directs you to all that you need. I hope I've answered you, and I do really love your question.
I can feel you love the question so much. Well, this one it ends with something and quite interesting.
Okay.
I don't know how you're going to handle that, but I know once again, once connected, you are connected, right?
Okay.
Once connected, always connected. Make sure your cables are strong. I stayed with a guardian who mistreated me, and it has given me some kind of bitterness towards life, especially when dealing with people. I can see that I have pains in my heart against that family who mistreated me. What should I do? Ima, tell her to pray for me. Jimmy K, Accra. You have to pray for this person. So you have to get your tongues ready, yeah?
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't speak in tongues, but Jimmy K, let me say this. You said I should pray for you. So I'd pray first and I'd answer the question. Prayer is nothing, but it's a calling forth of your God magnificence. So if you're talking about prayer is only activation of your God magnificence. I say to your spirit that you are in league with the progressive good of life. And the mark of success is upon your life. There is a mark of success upon your life. Dwell in that place and know that you are in league with the progressive force of the universe. Now back to your question. Someone did hurt you. Have you hurt someone before? Or have you unconsciously mistreated someone? Sometimes we do things that we may not be conscious of. This one, they've treated you badly. I can accept that, and it can be painful. I mean, there are situations where we hear of step-parents maltreating, their step-children. But in all of these, some of these step-children step into their power. They become great souls. They become great men and women. And when sometimes they speak, it was a challenge. It was the pain that they've been through that challenged them to their greatness. Please don't allow the pain of what you've been through to reduce what you are. You are greater than you think. And you're going to be greater still. Know this. I always say there's always some good and greater good happening. Watch it. Watch life. There's some good coming to you. Don't focus on this pain. The pain will reduce you and it will stop you from your growth. It will stop you from your progress. Also, I must say this. Please forgive them. Sometimes, if they did know better, then what they were doing to you was not good, or is causing you this pain, they may not have done it. And even by doing that, they've caused themselves also a level of pain. You know what? The one in pain and the one who caused the pain, they're always in pain. Watch it. When you do something to someone, you're both in pain. The person who did the pain or who did the action of the pain, and the person, who has suffered the action, they're both in pain. The receiver and the giver are in pain. So there may also be some level of pain you're not aware. Please don't let this pain reduce you. And don't have unforgiveness, like putting your hands in the fire, expecting them to burn. Because your hand is the one in the fire. So you're the one suffering and not them. Please release yourself from that unforgiveness fire. I hope this would help you. I pray that you find strength to be great. God bless you.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. I had a similar case on my hand, right?
Okay.
And this young lady, now married, happily married, was also complaining about the fact that she stayed with some guardian parents who also maltreated her. Now, when this lady is up at dawn working in the house, all right, the real biological parents of these guardian parents, right, will allow their kids to be sleeping. When this lady was going to the market, coming home, preparing food and what have you, these ones will be in the television, behind the television, watching TV. And she was telling me when she remembers all that she's been through, she feels very hurt. And I asked her, "Are you married?" She said, "Yes." And I asked, "Can you cook? Is your husband okay with your cooking?" She said, "Very, very, very okay." All right. Now, can you tell me, because she visits some of the siblings, right? The biological children of the woman. She visits some of them. And then I asked, can you tell me when you visit some of these children how their homes are? I said, oh, it's terrible. They don't even know how to cook. And this is what I told her. What you taught was a mistreat. It's now your asset.
Yes.
Because what you've been through is what is making you able to cook. And that is what is making you a hard-working person. So see the good in all that you go through. I hope Jimmy K will be okay with the prayer and the explanation that you gave to him. It is my prayer too that he sees the good and the possible good in all of life. Now, let's do a few more questions. Godfred can wait. Because if I don't do these questions, we would have to possibly get you in another time. But I know come next week, Brother Ishmael is taking over. He's back on. I know he has a lot to tell about all the step-ins that have been coming ever since he left the shores of Ghana. Let's do this one. What should you do if someone hates you to the latter? You have tried all you can, but they still hate to see you. You have pleaded with them, but they still hate you. What prayer points should you use to tame their anger? Wow, this is a Pentecostal question. What? Why are you laughing? It's a
I'm not laughing. The way you say it's a Pentecostal question, I'm thinking that's a general question, but just...
What prayer point should you use to tame their anger? This one is from Hansen, Babiani in the Western region. We are all over the country.
Oh, Hansen, thank you for your question. And what do you do to someone who hates you so much and you've tried everything? You know what I'd say? Keep trying, but this time do it in a different way. You did ask for PowerPoints to use in prayer. Prayer, I'd say it's not the shopping list we send to God. I think it's always what we think, that prayer is going to God and telling God, you know what, this person hates me, and so what do I do, and this, and tell God, do this for me. Sometimes we even tell God to do something terrible to the people hating us. In your case, you are trying it in a positive way, but nothing is happening. Prayer is a calling forth of your God magnificence. There's a God nature in you that you're calling forth into being, and that's what you must do. You must be a loving person. I always say anyone born of God is loving, is intelligent, and is creative. And if I did sit down with you for 5 minutes, we could go through your moments of love. There's been times you've shown some care. There's been time you've been the peacemaker somewhere. There's been time you've been so supportive. When you start thinking of these good that you've been, your energy will change. Your mind will now not be on the hate they are hating you. Your mind will be on the good you are, and the good you are would expand. Let me say this to you. When you're happy, people want to come to you. No one wants to go to a miserable person. So when you become this light, because what you're doing, you become the light. You become the light that is showing the way. When you're light, everyone wants that. Everyone wants a shield in your light. So please be the light. And this hate would say it is not. Because if the person knows that, you know what, she's not affected by anything that I'm doing, at a point they would give up. And what they would come and do is that they'll start loving you. Or I have had moments where I had said, or I had known that this person would not want to agree with me on anything. But it doesn't take long. We become the best of friends. We laugh and we talk about things and I ask myself, how did it happen? But I know these principles. I've been taught them. And they work. Be that light. And the darkness would say, it is not. I hope I've answered you.
Be that light, and the darkness will say, I'm not. The darkness will say, I'm not. It's very interesting the way you handle your questions. It tells me you are an Ethereum leader in the making. You are an Ethereum leader in the making. Now, happiness to me is when you receive your salary on Friday at the close of work. Happiness again to me is when you are served with a big bowl of rice with fat meat and palatable vegetables. Lastly, happiness is when you are married to a good partner and you live your life happily afterward. What kind of happiness again is she talking about? James Asante, Banana Inn, Accra.
Wow, James. I'm just in love with all the questions, and I think I need to write them down to be able to answer. Or unless approximately you tell me one after the other so I can answer him. His first one was, his happiness is when he gets his paycheck on Friday.
That's right.
So that's the happy moment.
Mm-hmm.
How long does the pay last? So if you get the pay on Friday, for how long in the month does it last? Or does it last before the next Friday? Because if you're paid weekly, well, I don't know if Ghana, we have that system of being paid weekly. So that could be every Friday. How long does the pay for Friday last? Does it take you up to Wednesday, Thursday, to another Friday again? Or in that happy moment of receiving that money, it's all squandered? Remember, if you're not happy before the money came in, you won't be happy when spending the money. And sometimes the money gets finished, or you spend the money and you ask yourself, what have you done with the money? At the moment that you get the money brings some excitement. It happens to all of us. You see, or sometimes you can even check your pay before the day. So you know that, wow, this is what I'm getting. The excitement comes in. 2 days after, you know this is all going to pay the bills and this is what going to do this. The happiness is gone. So if my happiness is on the amount that I have received and I'm holding, when the amount is gone, I'm going to be miserable. Is pay coming every minute to keep the happiness going? No. And I think the second one too is...
Well, the second one is happiness is when you are served with a big bowl of rice with fat meat and some palatable vegetables.
That is good. It's good to enjoy good food, isn't it? It's great when you have good food. When you're eating it, you must enjoy it because, so much is gone into life for you to have that food. So appreciate having the food. But after you finish eating the food, do you recollect or do you sit down to recall the moment of the eating, at the time of eating, the taste of the food, the smell of the food, all the ingredients that were used in the food? Do you really taste the onions in the food? Sometimes we're eating because it looks, sumptuous, and you're eating it, in a hurry, not even enjoying the food. That is no eating, isn't it? It's the sight that is telling you you're happy. And after you finished eating, sometimes even when you overeat it, you get sick. Because you are so happy, your so-called happiness is dependent on that moment of the food. And you overeat and you can feel sick after. All these things are external things. See, so when a day comes that you don't get the rice, or you have no job, which is the first one of your pay on a Friday, then it means that you're going to place, you're not going to be happy, because the happiness are with the food and the Friday pay. I don't think you want to do that. And the last question is for you, if Papa Smiley, you can.
All right, the last question, right? I don't think that's even the last question.
He asked, okay.
There's another one. He said,
about the food.
He talked about, okay. And lastly, right? When you are married to a good partner and you live life happily afterward.
I love that. When you're married to a good person. It's good to be married to a good person. But what is your measurement of good? When you cannot see the good in yourself, no matter how good your partner is, it would be a 9-day wonder. Everything would be what the senses are telling you it is. Oh, he's handsome. Oh, you know what? He gives me a lot of money. Oh, you know what? He works in a good place. There could be moments these things will not be. So, thinking that by marrying a good person, you're going to be happy. It hasn't happened. It doesn't happen. And no relationship goes without a trying times. Every relationship, no matter how good both of you are, you would have your trying times. And in your trying times, if you don't know how to reconnect back to your true nature, which is spirit, which is happiness, which is joy, which is love, you may fail there. So I'll say, you know what? Don't give the power to these things. Give the power to yourself and enjoy you for you.
All right.
Thank you.
Enjoy you for you. 2 more questions. 2 more questions and then we can go. This one is a tough one. I don't know if you're able to help such a person because it sounds a little bit psychological.
Okay.
What advice will you give to someone who is constantly receiving thoughts of committing suicide?
That's a good one. You know what? Whoever is sent this text, I would say, did you send a name? Is there a name of
Yes. Ibn Ajiman Makati Accra.
Oh, Ibn. And you've got my name too. Having my name, please step into the spirit of happiness with me. Please, let's find something about you to be happy about. Before I answer the question, there's something about you to be grateful for. I don't know your face, Eben, but I can tell there's something glorious about you. You know what? Every inventor believes in his invention. Every inventor. Look at the one who created, the cars. I like using cars because that's the one I know least about. But that's the one that excites me most. You talk about Benz, you talk about golf, you talk about, name them, you know. And Toyota, when they are being done by the inventors, they believe so much in it. They give it descriptions of, oh, this is this, it can, it's robust, it's this. When I watch the advert, sometimes I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful car. Sometimes your senses tell you, you know what, you need to get one of these cars, or these cars, whoever has it. It's a wonderful car. Every inventor believes in their invention. What about God? What about the creative love intelligence that created you? Do you really think he doesn't believe in you? Why would he bring you here if he doesn't believe in you? Please step into that knowing that my inventor believes in me. The world may not believe in me, but my inventor believes in me. Let this be your conviction, because it does believe in you. If it did not believe in you, you won't be here, because it would have no use for you. And when an inventor has no use for something, it's scrapped off. Since you've not been scrapped off by life, it means that you are very useful to life. You would never know what somebody is saying somewhere, thanking God for your life that you don't even know. Feeling suicidal is dangerous. I would say at the end of the call, I'll be giving some numbers. If you'd want to call the head office, our headquarters in Ghana, Ethereum Mission headquarters, someone will be available to help you. Someone will bring you back on track. There's so many people. And sometimes I'll say our leader, you know what, he takes everything on his shoulder. You'll be surprised Barishma would be the one to help bring this healing to you. So after this program, please take the number and give them a call. And there could be a change and a healing. But for now, just believe that your inventor believes in you. Thank you, Eben.
Thank you very much. We had a couple of questions more to go, but our time is well gone. I think I'll reserve some of the questions there, because one thing we all seek in life is happiness. So it's a never-ending event.
No.
We have to be happy all the time. And such questions, just like a few of them that we've put across, we need to spend some time on that. So maybe we will have to talk to Daddy and then see how best we'll be able to go around it, so we'll be able to address the few more questions that are
I
left.
think that he would address it when he comes in.
Running away. You're running away. Now, I love the passion with which you've addressed these very wonderful issues that came your way today. And I feel you have the capacity and ability, the enthusiasm, the passion within you to do what I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
There is this, it's a continuation, okay, but it's starting from somewhere and we carried on from somewhere. This new program coming on Aqua24 Radio on Saturdays from 3 p.m. till 5 p.m.
Okay.
It's Youth Link.
Okay.
All that we're trying to do is we want to create a bridge between the young and the old.
Yes.
Because at whatever point in time it may come, we have to hand over the baton to the very ones behind us.
Yep.
And if we are able to hand over the baton to competent ones, we will enjoy our future. When I say our future will be the time that we will be one way or the other in the wheelchair, in the living room that we cannot move. Okay, we are old and we need some people to care for us. Now, when that moment comes and we have trained competent people who know who they are, people who understand themselves,
Yes.
people who are connected with the source, we will be well taken care of.
Yes.
So we have to build our future now. And building our future now means we have to be able to shape up the youth into what we want them to become in future. Would you be able? You see, I am supposed to be sitting in to host that program, but I am listening to you. I feel okay. Something within me tells me, how about a female host in the person of Efwa? It's gonna be a very wonderful program, and then I hope as we carry on along, you might even want to step in for me. With all that you have under your sleeve, you'll be able to shape the youth for us.
Yes, we'll go together.
All right then, good one. I would want you to give locations to the various Ethereum Mission centers, the numbers as you said, and then a few words for us to round up with.
Okay. I think I would just say this, that let's live in happiness, because in happiness, let me talk about the practices. Please go download this and listen to it as many times as you can, so your consciousness gets this and it becomes part of your psyche. And let's do the practice. This practice I'm saying, it's not a pray for me practice, it's you doing it yourself. You don't need to pay someone to get happiness. Sometimes you go seeking happiness, you pay pastors and people to help you get happiness. But we've known the simple way. It's so simple a practice to do that happiness will be activated in us. And in our happiness, we increase our passion for living. In our happiness, as I said, we are always healthy. Healthy bodies think right. In our happiness, we are always happy regardless. This has been Ethereum Mission, the Church for Spiritual Empowerment. Ethereum Mission is located, we have our head office in Ghana, Sakaman, South Odoko, next to the Gulf Filling Station. The telephone numbers are 00233 5481 77633. And I repeat that, 00233 5481 77633. And the second number is 00233 264 277 633. And I repeat that again. 00233 264277 633. And Eben, if you're listening, please take these numbers and call and someone, or even text them. We have a wonderful secretary there by name Emmanuel, and who could, get your message across for the leader to know. And also, we do have a Ethereum mission in the UK, and it's at 58 Orange Park Avenue, and it's in Mitcham, Surrey, and the postcode is CR42DG, and that's where I worship. And I always say, please, if you're in the UK, come and worship with me. Come and let's grow together. Come and let me enjoy your happiness that you've discovered. The telephone numbers for UK is 0208 646 6129, and it's 028 646 6129. Ethereum Mission also has its international wing in California, to be precise, in the United States, in California to be precise. And you can get that you can Google that, or you can go on YouTube to find Conscious Humanity. It's in the name conscioushumanity@gmail.com. You can send any questions at all to them, and you'd have someone to respond to. I'll call it the body that carries Bra Ishmael's message to the international world. So if you don't live in Ghana, or you are not in the UK, any part of the world that you're in, you can send your questions to Conscious Humanity, and there would be someone to support you. Ethereum Mission is about supporting the growth of man. Ethereum Mission is about the oneness of life. That is what we stand for. In Ethereum Mission, everyone is empowered. On this note, I say thank you again. Thank you for making the time to listen to me today. Thank you. And God bless you for your time. Thank you. I'm done.
I know you're done, all right. But just a quick one. I think it's a good one for us to end with, right?
Okay.
Are you the leader in the UK branch? Would people get to hear you preach in church when they visit?
Is that a question?
It's a question.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not the leader of the UK branch, but I do preach. I do have days I do give sermons. We do have some very powerful leaders. Our leader is in the name of Sister Angelina Aye, and we do have she's the head leader, and the other leaders who are always there to support, who always give very powerful messages too. That's what I said. Ethereum is about empowering you. So when you do come in, you will feel empowered. You would go knowing that the kingdom of God is at hand and it's within you. Thank you.
Is the spirit the same when the leader leaves the United Kingdom branch and goes to Ghana? Is the spirit with which he brings with, or he comes with at the mission, the same? Does it remain the same, or when he leaves, the spirit goes down, and when he comes, the spirit goes up? Which is which?
No, I'll say this. I want to agree that when the leader is here, the energy is different. A lot of people would want to come into church. I can understand why that is, because this is the case. Bra Ishmael, people would want to hear it directly from source. Some of us have been taught by him. So when he's here, people would want to rush to source. I mean, sometimes I'm not saying that's what people are thinking. It's like, if I can get it straight from the man, why get it through his channels? So yes, occasionally the number of us or the attendance could go down, but our spirit is still always high, because I had never gone down or up when he's here. When he's here, what I know is that I'm committed to do so much, because he would make you do it. Mm-hmm. And even when he's gone sometimes, Stanjo gives me no peace anyway.
All right. I'll tell you one thing before we round up, right? I have been listening to him quite a lot.
Okay.
And I picked some few things from him. One, his humility.
Yes.
And with his humility, he says one thing. Mm-hmm. The wisdom that flows through him is not his. He is a channel for that message to come through.
He's a man of I don't know how to describe rational. So
And I know I'm not.
wonderful.
Yes,
I
don't want to get you emotional
Yes,
here,
no.
right? Save that one, yeah.
Yes.
And with that saying, this is what I take out of it.
Okay.
If the spirit,
Mm-hmm.
okay, with which he is connected,
Yes.
is the source,
Mm-hmm.
and the source is the same everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I believe if you guys tap into that knowledge, that even while he is away,
Yes.
the source is around you, right?
Yes.
The spirit will always be high,
Yeah.
and the very ones who come in when he is in town will continue to come
Come
even
in.
when he is gone.
Yes.
I know, and there are parts, of us that allows us or gives us the impetus to always hear from the source.
Source, yeah.
But he says he is not the
The
source.
I think that understanding should cut across to all of us. That
That's right.
the man who this volume of wisdom is coming through, it's saying he's not the source, but only a channel through which, the
Yes.
knowledge is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's been time I've questioned it that, you know what, I don't think anybody can do what he does. But he'll tell you, what I can do, you can do. And he makes it definite that if you spend 3 months, and he's very definite of it, you can do this and do it more. With practice, 3 months, you'd achieve the kingdom. So, yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. And remember, I can of myself
Do
nothing but the power within.
Yes.
We all have the power within.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Efua. And definitely, I know the request is already in for us to have you another time. Maybe not next week, but another time. Thanks
God.
very much. And then we carry on when we get you again. The name has been Papa Smiley. My guest today was Efua Asantewaa. Bye-bye.
Thank you.